Okay, today we're going to be checking out the brand new Dumont Nitro Elixir. The line is continuing to grow. Obviously, things got pretty popular with Dumont Nitro Red, and we had Dumont Nitro Red Intense as well, or Intensely, I believe. And there's quite a few other color variation flankers as well. But today is all about this brand new 2025 release here. Obviously, following suit in the whole Elixir trend. I'm really curious about this one. I don't know which way they're going with it, but we're going to find out. So I caught just a brief whiff of it when I opened up the box, and I have a feeling it's going to smell really good. I can smell it right now. I can't tell what it reminds me of yet, but I'm going to go ahead and spray it on, and we'll see. I do like the bottle a lot. It has this kind of platinum silver look to it, whereas you find, I don't know, quite a few of the elixirs sometimes go in more of a gold direction maybe. So, you know, this is a little bit of a different twist. Go ahead and spray this one on for the first time and see what we've got. I'm excited. So it opens up with this, for one, a little bit of that nitro red smell, that very distinct sweet bubblegummy touch. It has that 100% right off the opening here. This is bubblegummy to like a gourmand point. You know, a lot of times when you think about bubblegummy fragrances, Invictus and things like that, you know, it does have that, but this is a different type to the point where it's gourmand, it's edible. And I can tell you right off the bat, that part of things is not going to be appealing to everybody. For me, I don't mind it, but it does have more of a modern day, modern style type of smell instead of being more classic. So a lot of nitro red to start. One other thing I did notice off that initial opening was a little bit more of a slightly green, slightly woody undertone that was not prominent in nitro red. But for the briefest second, I did get it here. So it's that kind of bubblegummy sweet smell that you would probably come to expect, I suppose. But then it has this kind of slight clean soapiness that also didn't exist in the same type of way that nitro red. So let's take a look at the full note breakdown here and we'll see what we've got. Up top we have orange, apple, bergamot, and cardamom. You'll notice no watermelon. In the mid we have orange blossom, praline, geranium, and mint. And then the base, we have ambergris, amber, tonka, and oak moss. So without a doubt, I pick up on that oak moss. And I almost said it, but I wasn't for sure if it was even something that could be in here. But definitely smelled like an oak moss in the opening. That mint geranium combo was alluding to some of that kind of green smell. And wow, I can't believe I missed this. But little side note, magnetic cap. Okay, the nitro red does not. I don't know if nitro red intensely does because I don't have it, but that's a nice little upgrade if this is the first one they did that with. That's an added bonus to me. So even though this is an elixir flanker here, it's not in the way that's going to be overly sweet, overly strong to the extreme, like you might find some elixir fragrances to be, where they take kind of an existing DNA and they turn it up, essentially. I'm finding less of that and more of a balanced tweaking of notes in such a way that it makes the scent a little bit more desirable, I think. Because I think actually nitro red is more along the lines of being all in on this kind of fruity, sweet, bubblegummy, you know, Rasasi Howis style of scent. It's all in on that. I'm finding much more balance here with this one. Now, the interesting thing is that when you look at what this is compared to, the number one is YSL Myself Absolute. Unfortunately, I don't have it. However, the next one is YSL Myself EDP and then YSL Myself Parfum. I have both of those, and as it sits right now, I'm not really getting that. Now, this does have a little bit of a floral smell to it, and for example, when I go grab YSL Myself Le Parfum, and I were to spray this one or even just smell it here, obviously it does have the florals and just kind of that bright orange blossom type of smell too. But I do find Nitro Elixir to be on the sweeter end of things for sure when you compare it to either, again, Myself EDP or the Le Parfum. Maybe it is most similar to the Absolute version, again, which I don't have and haven't tried, so I can't speak on that front. But as it sits right now, I'm not viewing this as a clone of myself EDP or Le Parfum, at least not yet. This is still, I don't know, 5 or 6, 7 minutes in, 8 minutes in. Maybe that'll change a lot more in the dry down, but as it sits right now, maybe it's borrowing from some of that a little, but with their own twist. They're also comparing it to Amouage Reflection Man, which I get none of. And then finally, you scroll far enough, you see Nitro Red, which again, I definitely do pick up on some of that original Nitro Red a little bit. Again, this has the orange blossom, it has some of the citrus. So whether people are voting on that based off of looking at the notes and then just guessing, or if they're actually picking up on it, we never know for sure. For me, I don't think it's that cut and dry. I think this is yet another example of more or less an inspiration type of scent rather than a standalone one-to-one clone where they're trying to get as close to it as they can. I think it's more along the lines of borrowing from that DNA, which is pretty popular right now, and making it a bit different. And they did the same with Nitro Red. It's not really super close to House. It's in that DNA because it's kind of fruity and fresh and that type of similarity, but still different. This one is starting to dry down more. Some of that sweetness is dissipating. Some more of that slight kind of orange blossom, light floral component is coming in. So, you know, as it sits, I guess maybe it does get a little bit closer to that DNA. But I'll be honest, when you first spray this one, it kind of throws you off. You know, you're going into it thinking, you know, what direction is this going to go? Because it could go a number of directions. It could be similar to Nitro Red, or it could be something completely different on its own. And so it's kind of wrapping a few things into one here. A little bit of Nitro Red, a little bit of a slight myself EDP / Le Parfum a little bit type of smell, mixed in with their own sweeter twist. And again, that nice kind of oak moss, green, minty geranium opening off the top as well. Got to give credit where credit's due. When it comes down to it, this is a fantastic smelling fragrance. Now, it's important to remember there are different ways to go about grading this. As far as something unique and different and groundbreaking, this isn't going to rank very well in that category. Not that I think any of us would really expect it to, you know, so it's all about managing expectations here. But when it comes down to just looking at it at face value, is this something that smells good? Does it smell appealing? Does it feel like it's going to be a good compliment getter? All of those things, yes, it checks all of those boxes. I can tell with 100% certainty that this is going to be yet another fragrance that people are just going to fall in love with. They're going to smell it. It's going to do everything that they want it to do and more at a good price as well. I paid $45 for this, and it's new, so over time it'll probably come down a little bit more as well. Now, one of the cool things about this, it's an elixir, and it's actually an extrait concentration. It says it on the box. I believe it says it. It does say it on the bottom of the bottle on the sticker. You're not going to be able to see it, but yeah, extrait concentration. And obviously in this video, I'm not going to be able to have an idea on how this performs. As far as projection-wise, not a huge projector on my skin. And you saw I did a couple, 2-3 sprays on my hand there to kick things off. And you know, it's as I'm talking here, it's not assaulting my nose. And you get into some really strong EDTs and EDPs, you do a couple sprays like that, and sometimes it's all you can smell. Even some parfums as well, some other elixirs. I could tell this is going to be less on the projection distance, more on just leaving a nice trail, because you can tell, you're probably not going to be able to see it on my hand. I try to show it when I can, but it's oily. You can tell it's a high oil concentration. They're not bluffing. I mean, you do a couple sprays and this stuff is on the heavier end of things. So this is the type of thing that will linger in the air. I'm more curious on that longevity. I'm hoping that it will stick around for a long time. And yeah, as I mentioned, the longer it sits, the more of that white floral orange blossom smell comes through, more so tying it back into myself DNA. It's so wildly different off the opening that it's hard to call this one a straight up clone, because most clones that you come to know of and think of, you know, all of your Creed Aventus clones and Leighton clones and stuff that get very popular, they're basically spot on from the very start to the very finish. Whereas you get into the hybrids where they just take a different turn. So that's kind of more or less how I'm viewing this one here. And I've got zero problem with that. Will there be a myself EDP Le Parfum absolute clone at some point? I'm sure at some point there will be plenty. but I'm okay with having something that's not 100%. That kind of works that DNA and morphs it into something a bit more different. Because as someone who already has 2 of the myself fragrances already, you know, I don't really need a clone, and a lot of you probably own those as well and don't need one either. So having something that's a bit different is kind of nice. Very appealing, great smell. I really do enjoy it. I think it's a great release. I think it probably won't be quite as popular as Nitro Red, just because maybe people will start to really hype it up like that and it'll go crazy, but I kind of think that that's more or less a one and done type of deal, you know, but I can definitely see this one being very popular, especially as it expands onto more discounters. And as I mentioned, man, that magnetic cap is a nice surprise and a great bonus. I love the bottle too. I think it, you know, nice platinum silver like that, kind of a metallic look. Very cool. So that's it for me. Dumont Nitro Elixir. I think it smells nice. It's going to appeal to those who like the original Nitro Red, basically. And if you weren't a big fan of that, this isn't going to be in your wheelhouse either. Definitely not quite what I was expecting. Really threw me off based on the opening. I was expecting something fresher, but it really did kind of open up on the sweeter end of things there with that distinct bubblegummy texture. So let me know down below, have you tried this one yet? If you haven't, are you going to? And that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.